Yo, you know we got a shout out to the Royal Stoke University Hospital. They in the building right now. Listen up, people. It's so necessary that we're all prepared and fully aware, staying safe in our mission, and that's in our vision to see that we're okay. So have a safe day. First thing first, we need to have the mind clear. Second of all, always pay attention. With the third, look for hazards that may appear. Pace to be in a good place and have a safe day. So think about what you do throughout the day. Sometimes the job may get a little busy. It's important that you don't get dizzy. So do the 3 checks and have a safe day. Take time, be careful with the signs and have a safe day. Take time, be careful with the signs and have a safe day. Do I know how to do the job? Do I have the right equipment? Is my environment safe? Don't get carried away and have a safe day. Hey mate, put your glasses on. You gotta keep safe. Hey, we're talking soft and hard FM right now. So listen up. Less risk it so remember child. Wear PPE, that you know it's the style. When you're lifting up boxes, don't wanna put a muscle. Don't really wanna get yourself caught up in trouble. When using the ladder, take your time as you step. Don't stand under it, now that's a hazard on the list. Be alert at all times. You wanna work like us? Remain positive and have a safe day. Take time, be careful with the signs and have a safe day. Take your time, be careful with the signs and have a safe day. Do I know how to do the job? Do I have the right equipment? Is my environment safe? Don't get carried away and have a safe day. Shouts out to everybody at the Royal Stoke University Hospital. You know we remain safe in the building, right? Gotta keep safe.
Hello everybody and welcome to this online session. This is Marwa Abdulatif from Potable Water and Sanitation Technical High School for Boys in Sويف. Today we're going to talk about Unit 1, Safety Checks. So we're going to talk about safety checks using 4 skills, and these skills are divided into input skills and output skills. Input skills are listening and reading. Output skills are speaking and writing. So we're going to talk about listening as an input skill. In listening, we have 3 stages. The first stage is pre-listening. Before listening, you look at titles, charts, tables, diagrams, or pictures in order to guess the main ideas that you're going to listen to. Again, you look at titles, charts, tables, diagrams, or pictures in order to guess the main ideas that you're going to listen to. For example, take a look at this title, Safety Rules. Also, take a look at these different pictures. So this means that we're going to listen to some safety rules that are related to any of these pictures. Now, listen to a song about safety rules. Can you fill in the missing words? This means moving to the second stage of listening, which is during listening. While listening, you should look for keywords. These keywords can help you understand meanings in the text. For example, you can listen in order to get nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. Now let's start listening to the song.
Safety. Look left, right, left, look left, right, left. Helmet on head, seatbelt just right, be safe outside, If you cross the street, Just be sure to look both ways. First look to the left, then look to the right, then left again to be safe. You can bike outside, you can skate or scoot around. Strap your helmet on tight, safety pads on right, just in case you fall down. Look left, right, left. Look left, right, left. Helmet on head. Helmet on head. Seatbelt just right. Seatbelt just right. Be safe outside. Be safe outside. You can take a ride in the back seat of the car. Back seat. Booster seat in right. Strap your seatbelt tight, even if you don't drive far. When you play outside in the bright and shining sun, have your dad or mom help you block the sun. Getting sunburned is no fun, no fun. Look left, right, left. Look left, right, left. Helmet on head. Helmet on head. Seatbelt just right. Seatbelt just right. Be safe outside. Be safe outside.
Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you next time.
The third stage of listening is called post-listening. So after listening to the song, let's take a look at the answers in which we have the missing words. Look left, right, left. Helmet on head. Seatbelt just right. Be safe outside. If you cross the street, just be sure to look both ways. When looking at this picture, we remember the topic of Unit 1, which is safety checks. So now imagine that you're going to listen to a dialogue in which we're talking about safety checks. Listen. Check that your straps are tight. This one isn't tight, it's loose. Pull it firmly until it's tight. Okay. Do you remember some keywords? Take a look at this picture. Check that your straps are tight. This one isn't tight, it's loose. Pull it firmly until it's tight. Okay. So here, we need to use some specific structures in order to give instructions or in order to make sure that a specific rule is followed. So check, make sure, ensure, or see. كلهم بمعنى تأكد. Then we have that. Then we have complete sentences. So we have subjects and verbs after that. Take a look at this table and try to make complete sentences using any of these verbs. Check that the strap is tight. Make sure that the straps are tight. Ensure that the switch is off. See that the switches are off. So let's take a look at this exercise. Check these things before you leave the workshop. Here we have some questions, and we're going to use this information in order to make complete sentences using verbs such as check, make sure, ensure, or see. So let's take a look at the questions first. A, are all the machines off? B, is the floor clean? C, are the tools in the boxes? D, is the storeroom closed? E, are the windows and doors closed? F, is the main switch off? Now let's take a look at these sentences. A. Ensure that all the machines are off. B. See that the floor is clean. C. Make sure that the tools are in the boxes. D. Check that the storeroom is closed. E. Ensure that the windows and doors are closed. F. See that the main switch is off. Now let's move to another exercise in which we're going to complete these instructions. But remember, this time we're going to use until in order to complete these instructions. For example, plane the wood until it's smooth. So after until, we use complete sentences. Let's move to the other sentences. B. Turn the screws clockwise until they're tight. C. Pour the water out of the tanks until they are empty. D. Chisel the wood until it is straight. E. Drill the holes in the wood until they are 5 millimeters deep. Now let's take a look at some adverbs expressing directions and their opposites. To the right, إلى اليمين. To the left, إلى اليسار. Clockwise, باتجاه عقارب الساعة. Anti-clockwise, عكس اتجاه عقارب الساعة. Upwards, إلى أعلى. Downwards, إلى أسفل. Forwards, إلى الأمام. Backwards, إلى الخلف. Inwards, إلى الداخل. Outwards, إلى الخارج. So let's do this exercise. Make instructions about the pictures below. Use these verbs: bend, push, turn, drive, and move. A. Push the lever to the right. B. Turn the key clockwise. C. Move the car upwards. D. Drive the car forwards. E. Bend the nails inwards. Now we're moving to a different skill. This skill is reading. Reading is an input skill. In reading, we have 3 stages. The first stage is pre-reading. So before reading, you look at titles, charts, tables, diagrams, or pictures in order to guess the main ideas that you're going to read about. So you look at titles, charts, tables, diagrams, or pictures in order to guess the main ideas that you're going to read about. For example, take a look at this title, How to Check a Spark Plug. Also, take a look at these pictures. We have a picture of a gap, we have a picture of a cover, we have a picture of a socket, we have gauges, we have an engine, and we have a spark plug. So these pictures help us guess the main ideas that we're going to read about. So maybe we're going to read about cleaning a spark plug. We're going to see some steps related to checking a spark plug, for example. This means moving to the second stage of reading. This stage is during reading. So while reading, you look for keywords. These keywords can be nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. Again, nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. Now it's your turn to scan this passage in order to answer these questions. Here you have some questions and you have limited time to answer these questions. After scanning the passage in order to answer questions, let's move to the third stage of reading, which is post-reading. Here are the answers of the questions. A. Number 1, I turned the plug anti-clockwise to loosen it. Number 2, I turn the plug clockwise to tighten it. B, I use the wrench to loosen and tighten the plug. C, I look at the gap in order to check that it is clean. D, I put the gauge into the gap in order to check that it is between 0.65 and 1 millimeter wide. E, the correct width of the gap is 0.8 millimeter wide. Now let's follow the same stages in order to answer different questions. For example, look at this title and look at this picture. How to restore an old wall on a monument. And here we have a picture referring to a monument. So now we're working on the first stage of reading, which is pre-reading. Again, while reading, we look for keywords in order to answer some questions. And remember, you have to scan. This means reading quickly in order to get the most important information. For example, here you have a question before reading the passage. So you have to read quickly in order to find the answer of this question. Now let's read this passage quickly and circle A, B, C, or D. This passage explains how to build, repair, remove, or damage an old wall on a monument. The correct answer is repair. Now let's move to more exercises related to the same passage. Match the instructions with the illustrations. Write A, B, or C in each gap. Here we have 3 points. 1, replace it. 2, repair it. 3, remove it. And we have 3 pictures, A, B, and C. Also, we need to read the passage again, but this time we're going to read more slowly and mark these instructions T for true or F for false. Then we're going to correct the false ones. A, rebuild the wall and then take photographs of it. B, you can use a hand chisel or a power drill to remove the stone blocks. C, if an old stone block is broken, use a new one. D, keep the stone blocks safe in a locked and guarded building. Here we have some questions and we need to answer them. A, why do you photograph the wall? B, why do you write numbers on the blocks? C, why do you use lime mortar to hold the blocks together? D, when do you use new stone blocks in an old wall? So we're going to scan the passage in order to answer these questions. Then we're moving to the third stage of reading, which is post-reading. Let's take a look at the answers. 1, replace it. B, 2, repair it. C, 3, remove it. A. Here are the answers of true and false sentences. A, false. Correction, take photographs of the wall and then start restoring it. B, false. Correction, use only hand tools, do not use power tools, they may damage the wall. C, false. Correction, if an old stone block is broken, try to repair it. If you cannot repair the block, use a new one of the same type of stone. Finally, D is true. Here are the answers of the questions. A, I photograph the wall in order to ensure that the restored wall looks the same as the old one. B. I write numbers on the blocks in order to replace them in the correct order. I work upwards from right to left. C. I use lime mortar to hold the blocks together, not cement mortar, because modern cement is too hard and can damage old stones. D. I use new stone blocks in an old wall when I cannot repair the block. Now we're moving to the communication section, and here we're talking about making and accepting an invitation. For example, take a look at this picture. Here we have two girls talking to each other on the phone. Let's listen to this dialogue between Mona and Safa. Mona, I'd like to invite you to lunch today. Are you free? Safa, yes, I am. Thank you. I'd love to come. So Safa accepted the invitation. Here is another dialogue between Ahmed and Ali. Ahmed, can you come to my party next Thursday? Ali, yes, I can. Thanks. That's very kind of you. And finally, here is a dialogue between Sami and Hani. Sami, would you like to come for dinner tomorrow? Hani, yes, I would. Thank you very much. So look at the question. Are you free? The answer is yes, I am. Here, can you come to my party next Thursday? Yes, I can. Would you like to come for dinner tomorrow? Yes, I would. So here we have verb be, are and am. Here we have can. Here we have would. So let's do this exercise. Match the questions with the appropriate answers. Let's take a look at this example. Can you come to my party? Yes, I can. Would you like to come for dinner? Yes, I would. Are you able to join me for lunch? Yes, I am. Will you be free to come to the cinema next Thursday? Yes, I will. Could you come before 7 in the evening? Yes, I could. Do you like eating Western food? Yes, I do. Now let's move to another point. Now we're going to talk about communication. Also, we're going to talk about invitations, but this time we're going to answer saying no politely. So, how to say no politely to an invitation? Follow these easy steps. 1. Thank the person. For example, you can say something like, thank you. That's very kind of you. 2. Apologize. For example, you can say, I'm sorry, I'm afraid. 3. Say no. For example, I can't come. 4. Give a reason. For example, I'm working tomorrow. So you can say something like this. Thank you, that's very kind of you, but I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't come because I'm working tomorrow. Now let's do this exercise. Here we have some possible answers. Of course, number 1 is done for you as an example. Now let's move to number 2. A. Can you join me at the film on Thursday evening? B. Thanks, that's kind of you, but I'm sorry, I can't come because I'm going to visit my uncle in the hospital. 3. A. Are you free to come to my club the day after tomorrow? B. Thank you. I'm afraid I can't come because I'm going to fly to Aswan with my family tomorrow morning. 4. A. Would you like to come for lunch next Friday? B. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I'm afraid I can't come because I have to study next Friday. 5. A. I'd like to invite you to iftar tomorrow. Are you free? B. Thanks. That's kind of you, but I'm sorry. I can't come because I'm going to go out with my friends tomorrow. So here, invitations are refused politely. Now let's move to assignments. As per speaking, you're going to exchange invitations with your classmates using previous exercises. Accept some invitations and refuse others politely. As for writing, you're going to write a short paragraph of 5 sentences on checking a spark plug. Thank you.